Our journey into the remarkable transformation of Saint Nicholas begins not in a winter wonderland, but on the sun-drenched, rugged coast of Lycia, a Roman province nestled in what is now modern-day Turkey. It is here, in the ancient port city of Patara, around 270 AD, that Nicholas was born into a wealthy Christian family. His early life, steeped in prosperity, would soon be marked by profound loss and a burgeoning spiritual conviction. Orphaned at a young age after a devastating plague claimed his parents, Nicholas inherited their considerable fortune, but also their deep faith. This inheritance, however, was not viewed as a means for personal comfort, but as a divine trust for the betterment of others. As a young man, Nicholas embraced a life of devout asceticism, dedicating himself to God and to the plight of the less fortunate. His reputation for piety and unwavering generosity quickly spread, leading to his eventual ordination as Bishop of Myra, a bustling city situated just a few miles from his birthplace. This elevation placed him at the heart of his community, where he became a beacon of hope and compassion during tumultuous times. The 4th century was a period of both profound spiritual awakening and fierce persecution for Christians across the Roman Empire. Nicholas himself is said to have endured imprisonment and torture for his faith under the Emperor Diocletian, only to be released with the ascension of Constantine the Great. It is in his role as bishop that the most enduring legends of Saint Nicholas were forged. One of the most famous tales recounts his secret aid to an impoverished father with 3 daughters. Without dowries, these young women faced a bleak future, likely forced into servitude or worse. Learning of their desperate plight, Nicholas, under the cloak of darkness, secretly tossed bags of gold coins through an open window into their home, enough to ensure each daughter a respectable marriage. This act of anonymous charity, repeated 3 times, saved the family from destitution and established Nicholas as a protector of the innocent and a purveyor of silent benevolence. Other accounts speak of his intervention to save 3 innocent men from execution, his miraculous provisioning of grain during a famine, and his calming of a violent storm at sea, protecting sailors. These acts, whether historical fact or cherished legend, paint a consistent picture. Nicholas was a figure of immense moral courage, deep spiritual conviction, and boundless compassion. He was not a distant, austere cleric, but a hands-on benefactor whose life was a testament to selfless giving. His legacy, rooted in these extraordinary deeds, laid the foundation for a character whose spirit would echo through centuries, transforming from a revered bishop into a global icon of generosity. The veneration of Saint Nicholas did not wane with his death. around 343 AD. Instead, his legend proliferated, carried by merchants, sailors, and pilgrims across the Byzantine Empire and into Western Europe. Myra, his episcopal city, became a significant pilgrimage site. A pivotal moment in the spread of his cult occurred in 1087, when Italian sailors purportedly translated his relics from Myra to Bari, Italy. This act, though controversial, significantly amplified his fame throughout the Latin West, establishing Bari as a major center of devotion and making his story accessible to a broader European audience. Across medieval Europe, Nicholas's reputation as a protector of children, sailors, and the wrongfully accused solidified. By the High Middle Ages, his feast day, December 6th, was widely celebrated with distinct regional variations. This was not merely a solemn religious observance. It evolved into a joyous occasion, particularly for children who eagerly anticipated his arrival. In towns and villages from the Low Countries to Germany, France, and beyond, children would leave out wooden shoes or stockings on the eve of St. Nicholas Day, hoping to find them filled with small treats, fruits, nuts, gingerbread, or shining coins by morning. This tradition fostered community and generosity. The figure delivering these gifts often took on the benevolent guise of a bishop, sometimes accompanied by attendants. These Saint Nicholas figures, frequently local priests or respected community members, would visit homes or public squares, distributing gifts and encouraging piety. The iconic imagery associated with Nicholas, his bishop's mitre, crozier, and long flowing robe became instantly recognizable. These early celebrations were deeply intertwined with Christian teachings, emphasizing charity and the spiritual values Nicholas embodied. The chilling, often snow-laden winter backdrop further imbued these traditions with warmth, mystery, and anticipation. This enduring custom of secret gift-giving, directly linked to a benevolent bishop-like figure, formed a crucial bridge carrying the spirit of the 4th century Lycian saint forward, shaping traditions that would ultimately lay the groundwork for a much more secular and globalized holiday icon. His legacy transcended religious boundaries, weaving itself into the very fabric of European folk culture. As the 17th century dawned, a new and pivotal chapter in St. Nicholas's enduring journey began, one that would irrevocably shape his modern form. Dutch seafarers and intrepid settlers, deeply steeped in their rich cultural heritage and centuries-old traditions, embarked on perilous voyages to the vast and unknown New World. Their destination, a nascent settlement on the wild eastern seaboard of North America, which they proudly named New Amsterdam. Amidst the myriad challenges of establishing a new colony, the harsh, untamed wilderness, unfamiliar landscapes, and the intricate complexities of trade with indigenous peoples, the Dutch resolutely clung to their cherished customs as a vital, comforting link to their distant home. Among these deeply held traditions, the annual celebration of Sinterklaasavond, or St. Nicholas Eve, held a particularly special place. In the bustling, often muddy streets and nascent brick homes of early New Amsterdam, the familiar rituals of Sinterklaas began to firmly take root. Children, just as they had done for generations in the Old World, would eagerly place their small wooden shoes or carefully hung stockings by the fireplace or near the door on the evening of December 5th. Their hopes were simple, yet profoundly significant: to awaken the next morning to discover small gifts from the benevolent Sinterklaas. These offerings often consisted of practical items essential for frontier life: nuts, dried fruits, small handcrafted toys made from wood, or perhaps a rare, shining coin, each one a small comfort and a tangible connection in a challenging new environment. The arrival of Sinterklaas symbolized not only generosity, but also continuity, a precious piece of familiar European comfort transported across the vast, perilous Atlantic. This transplanted tradition was far from an isolated practice. It became an integral and vibrant part of the emerging social fabric of New Amsterdam. Dutch families meticulously passed these precious customs down to their children, diligently ensuring the legacy of Sinterklaas persisted amidst the diverse tapestry of early colonial life. As the settlement steadily grew, eventually transforming into New York City under subsequent English rule, the Dutch traditions, though sometimes overshadowed, did not vanish. Instead, they subtly simmered beneath the surface, faithfully sustained by generations who deeply valued their heritage. The enduring image of Sinterklaas, a kindly, universally gift-giving figure, thus began its slow, subtle transformation from a venerated bishop to a more generalized, secular bringer of joy in this dynamic melting pot of cultures. This critical journey across the vast ocean marked a truly pivotal juncture, deeply embedding the saint's spirit in the very foundations of American folklore. Now ready for its next remarkable evolutionary step. Washington Irving's playful sketches had certainly begun to shape the character of an American St. Nicholas, but it was a seemingly innocuous poem, published anonymously in 1823, that would provide the most enduring and universally recognizable blueprint for the figure we know today. This was Clement Clark Moore's A Visit from St. Nicholas, often called "'Twas the Night Before Christmas," a literary masterpiece that forever stamped its vision onto the burgeoning American imagination. Moore, a respected New York theologian and professor of Oriental and Greek literature, initially penned the verses for his own children, reportedly finding the subject matter too frivolous for a scholar of his standing. It was a family friend, Miss Harriet Butler, who, captivated by its charm and warmth, submitted it to the Troy Sentinel newspaper, where it first appeared on December 23, 1823, without its author's name. The poem's immediate popularity was astounding, spreading rapidly through reprints in newspapers and magazines across the young United States. Its vivid imagery and whimsical narrative resonated deeply, offering a comforting, joyful antidote to the sometimes austere holiday celebrations of the time. Here, for the first time, was a consistent, detailed depiction of Saint Nicholas. Not a stern bishop, but a jolly old elf. He appeared with a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, flying with incredible speed. Moore's lines gave him a specific physical form. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry, his cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. His long white beard and suit, all tarnished with ashes and soot, completed the image. He entered homes not through a door, but down the chimney, bringing gifts directly to the children. This poem consolidated disparate folk traditions and burgeoning American ideas into a cohesive, enchanting narrative. It moved Saint Nicholas from a distant, somewhat imposing saint to an accessible, magical visitor who embodies generosity and cheer. Moore's reluctance to claim authorship for many years did little to stem the tide. The poem had already taken on a life of its own, imprinting its indelible images upon the cultural consciousness. By the mid-19th century, a visit from St. Nicholas was a cherished tradition, read aloud in countless homes on Christmas Eve, shaping generations' understanding of the holiday and its most iconic figure. Its influence was profound, providing the foundation upon which future artists and advertisers would build, solidifying Santa Claus's benevolent and magical persona for centuries to come. Clement Clarke Moore's poem had provided the imaginative blueprint, etching a jovial, magical visitor into the American consciousness. Yet, for all its descriptive power, the visual representation of Saint Nicholas remained somewhat fluid and varied. It would take the artistic genius of one man, the German-born American caricaturist and editorial cartoonist Thomas Nast, to transform Moore's jolly old elf into the enduring, visually consistent icon we recognize today. Nast, renowned for his incisive political cartoons during the Civil War, began drawing Santa Claus for Harper's Weekly in 1863, at a time when the nation was deeply divided and yearned for unifying symbols of hope and goodwill. Nast's earliest Santa images for Harper's Weekly were striking. His first illustration depicted Santa distributing gifts to Union soldiers in a Union Civil War camp, subtly blending holiday cheer with patriotic sentiment. This initial portrayal, while still somewhat lean, began to establish key elements. Over the next 3 decades, Nast published more than 30 drawings of Santa Claus, meticulously evolving his appearance and environment. It was Nast who firmly established Santa's North Pole workshop, a bustling hub where toys were made and prepared for distribution. He also gave Santa a ledger listing children as good or bad, introducing a moral dimension to the gift-giving. The visual transformation under Nast's brush was profound. He progressively plumped Santa's figure, broadened his face, and gave him a hearty white beard, perfectly aligning with Moore's poetic descriptions of a broad face and a little round belly. Nast clothed him in a fur-trimmed red suit, a choice that, while not entirely new, he popularized to such an extent that it became synonymous with the character. His Santa was not just a deliverer of gifts. He was a benevolent, almost grandfatherly figure, radiating warmth and merriment. The iconic image of Santa with a sack full of toys, a pipe in his mouth, and a twinkle in his eye, all stem directly from Nast's prolific output. Nast's influence extended beyond mere aesthetics. He helped to solidify the idea of Santa as a bringer of domestic joy, a figure who visits homes on Christmas Eve, emphasizing themes of family, generosity, and childhood wonder. Through his widely circulated illustrations in Harper's Weekly, a publication with immense reach, Nast's vision permeated American culture, providing a definitive visual standard that was eagerly embraced. His portrayals were so universally accepted that they effectively eclipsed previous, more diverse depictions, streamlining the image of Santa Claus into a cohesive, widely understood identity. Thus, building upon Moore's lyrical foundation, Thomas Nast completed the artistic journey, giving the world the beloved, iconic Santa Claus, whose image graces countless homes and hearts to this very day. Thomas Nast's prolific artistry had undeniably given the world a definitive visual prototype of Santa Claus, refining Moore's poetic vision into a beloved, tangible figure. Yet even with Nast's widespread influence, the specific details of Santa's appearance remained, in some quarters, open to interpretation. Early 20th century depictions still varied, with some artists showing him lean, others portly, and his attire not always consistently the bright red we know today. It was in the realm of commercial advertising, specifically with a ubiquitous beverage company, that Santa's image would receive its final, universally recognized standardization, cementing his place in the global imagination. Beginning in the 1930s, the Coca-Cola Company embarked on a Christmas advertising campaign that would, perhaps inadvertently, etch a specific version of Santa Claus into the collective consciousness. Before this, Coca-Cola had occasionally used Santa in their ads, but it wasn't until 1931 that they commissioned artist Haddon Sundblom to create a series of annual Christmas advertisements. Sundblom's task was to create a Santa who was both wholesome and jovial, embodying the spirit of the season and, naturally, associating it with their product. He drew inspiration from Clement Moore's poem and Nast's work, but injected his unique warmth and character. Sundblom's Santa was a revelation, a rosy-cheeked grandfatherly figure with a warm, friendly gaze, a luxuriant white beard, and a rotund, cheerful physique. Crucially, Sundblom dressed him in a vibrant, unmistakable red suit, trimmed with white fur, a color scheme that coincidentally matched the company's own branding. This wasn't a corporate invention of Santa's red suit. Earlier depictions, including Nast's, had featured red. But Coca-Cola's extensive and pervasive advertising campaigns ensured that this particular shade of red, and this particular robust and merry Santa, became the quintessential representation. For over 3 decades, from 1931 to 1964, Sundblom painted Santa Claus for Coca-Cola advertisements, appearing in magazines, billboards, and store displays across America and eventually the world. These annual campaigns were incredibly effective, reaching millions and consistently reinforcing Sundblom's design. His Santa was depicted engaged in various festive activities, delivering toys, drinking the product, or interacting with eager children. This constant exposure standardized Santa's appearance like never before, making Sundblom's interpretation the quintessential image. The commercial association, though originally for a product, solidified a timeless icon, forever linking Christmas joy with a benevolent, instantly recognizable figure, whose image continues to evoke warmth, generosity, and the magic of the holiday season, enduring far beyond its original advertising intent. The Coca-Cola Company's pervasive advertising cemented a universally recognizable image of Santa Claus in the mid-20th century. This robust, cheerful, red-suited figure, refined by Haddon Sundblom, didn't just become an American icon. His image transcended borders, embarking on an extraordinary journey of global adoption and adaptation. Across continents, the essence of generosity and festive spirit he embodied resonated deeply, often merging with pre-existing local traditions and winter folklore. In Scandinavia, he became linked with figures like Joulupukki, the Yule goat, transforming into a benevolent gift-bringer who might arrive not by sleigh, but by less magical means, still embodying the spirit of the season. In the United Kingdom, Father Christmas, a much older, often green-clad figure associated with feasting and merriment, largely assimilated the visual attributes of Sandblom's Santa, while retaining his distinctly British name and historical lineage. Similar transformations occurred across mainland Europe, where figures like Saint Nicholas and Père Noël began to adopt the familiar red suit and jolly demeanor, their own traditional robes and staffs sometimes giving way to the new iconic imagery. Even in regions without a tradition of winter snow or Christian festivities, the imagery of Santa Claus found a foothold. In sun-drenched Australia, he might appear in lighter attire, or even board shorts, sometimes pulled by kangaroos instead of reindeer, reflecting the continent's summer Christmas. In Japan, where Christmas is more of a commercial and romantic holiday, Santa is a beloved, universally understood symbol of goodwill and gift-giving, seamlessly integrated into the cultural fabric despite its foreign origins. This global phenomenon isn't merely about a commercial image. It's a testament to the powerful human need for stories of hope, generosity, and joy, especially during colder, darker months. Santa Claus, in all his adapted forms, serves as a universal ambassador of goodwill, transcending language and cultural barriers. He symbolizes the spirit of giving, the magic of childhood, and the enduring belief in kindness. From the frosty Nordic landscapes to the bustling markets of Asia, the benevolent figure, whether Sinterklaas, Father Christmas, or Santa-san, continues to bring smiles, embodying a timeless narrative that unites us in shared celebration, proving that some myths are too powerful, too essential to remain confined to one origin. From the ancient Bishop Nicholas, who lived a life of quiet charity in Myra, to the bustling streets of New York, where Santa Claus found new life, and finally to the globally recognized icon he is today. The journey of Santa Claus is a profound testament to humanity's capacity for storytelling and belief. His evolution, spanning nearly 2 millennia, reflects not just cultural shifts and commercial ingenuity, but a deeper, intrinsic human need to celebrate altruism, wonder, and community. His evolution, spanning nearly 2 millennia, reflects not just cultural shifts and commercial ingenuity, but a deeper, intrinsic human need to celebrate altruism, wonder, and community. Each adaptation, from the solemn ecclesiastical figure to the jovial, red-suited present giver, has added layers to his persona, enriching his universal mythos. He is a symbol that transcends simple religious or commercial contexts, transforming into an emblem of unconditional generosity. He is a symbol that transcends simple religious or commercial contexts, transforming into an emblem of unconditional generosity. The simple act of a child, eyes wide with anticipation, writing a letter or whispering a wish, connects directly to that ancient spirit of giving, regardless of language or latitude. His story reminds us that kindness, compassion, and the joy of selfless contribution are not relics of the past, but essential pillars for our future. He is a bridge across generations, a silent promise of wonder that endures, inspiring acts of charity, fostering dreams, and illuminating the world with hope. He is a bridge across generations, a silent promise of wonder that endures, inspiring acts of charity, fostering dreams, and illuminating the world with hope. So, as we reflect on this incredible transformation, consider the magic that lies not just in the myth, but in the enduring human spirit that created and sustained it. What tales of generosity and hope will we carry forward, shaping the myths for generations yet to come? For in the giving and in the believing, the true magic of Saint Nicholas, and thus Santa Claus, truly resides, inspiring us all. As the 19th century dawned, the enduring image of Sinterklaas, carried across the Atlantic by Dutch settlers, found new soil in American culture, ready for a profound literary reimagining. It was in this vibrant, evolving New York that a young and influential writer, Washington Irving, would play a pivotal role. Irving, known for his keen wit and deep love for local history, became fascinated by the rich, often quirky Dutch heritage of his native city. In 1809, under the humorous pseudonym Diedrich Knickerbocker, he published A History of New York, from the beginning of the world to the end of the Dutch dynasty. This satirical yet affectionate chronicle, penned with delightful irony, playfully wove together fact and fiction, becoming an instant literary sensation across the young nation. Within its pages, Irving took the beloved Dutch figure of Sinterklaas and, with a whimsical flourish, began to transform him. No longer solely the austere Bishop of Myra, Irving's Sinterklaas was depicted as a benevolent, pipe-smoking Dutch burgher, plump and jovial, whose annual visits brought gifts and good cheer. He soared over the rooftops of New Amsterdam in a magical wagon, dropping presents down chimneys, an image that resonated deeply with the burgeoning American imagination. Irving's playful descriptions imbued Sinterklaas with a new, distinctly American character, effectively distancing him from his purely religious origins and embedding him firmly within a burgeoning, secular American folklore. His widely read stories, often enjoyed by families gathered in the warm glow of gas-lit parlors, became instrumental in popularizing this evolving image throughout the early Republic. Irving's narrative genius thus provided a crucial bridge, shifting Sinterklaas from a cherished, specific cultural tradition to a more generalized, universally appealing bringer of holiday joy. It was through his charming, imaginative prose that the Dutch saint truly began his journey towards becoming the iconic, gift-giving figure of American Christmas time, a foundational step in his enduring legend, setting the stage for even grander transformations.